UN 영어뉴스. Why KFC failed to master Karachi's famed paratha rolls. Karachi locals balked at a mass-produced version of their homegrown treasure, a crispy, meat-filled paratha that captures the zeitgeist of the city in one bold, delicious parcel. Paratha rolls, tender, juicy kebab, or bite-sized chunks of grilled meat, smothered with tangy chutney, garnished with onions, and rolled in flaky, crispy, fried flatbread paratha are to Pakistanis what hot dogs are to Americans. They are at the culinary core of the frenetically paced city of Karachi. In this ethnically and linguistically diverse metropolis, paratha rolls are one of the few creations the city can proudly claim as its own. It's not so much a question of whether you've tried them, but which one is your favorite. The central premise is simple: just wrap a kebab in a paratha. But Masuma Yosufzai, a Karachi local who grew up eating paratha rolls, says it's the marriage of the two staples that stands out. Typically, kebab and paratha are eaten by tearing off pieces of the bread to scoop up the meat, but putting the bread and meat in one roll makes it greater than the sum of its parts. For Karachi residents, the food has always captured the zeitgeist of the times in one daring, delicious parcel. Holding it all in your hands and being able to eat all at the same time with the chutney dripping out lets you taste that melody of flavor in every bite. Somehow, it makes the whole experience a lot better and tastier. Yosufzai said, the backstory is as satisfying as the food. In 1970, Hafiz Habib ur Rahman created the now iconic kebab rolls quite serendipitously during a particularly busy day at his local snack bar called Silver Spoon Snacks in Karachi's famed shopping street, Tariq Road. Newly established at the time, Silver Spoon initially served a plate of kebab and paratha, as well as chaat, a savory chickpea snack, and ice cream. On a whim one day, when a customer was pressed for time and couldn't sit down to enjoy his food, Rahman hastily rolled the kebab into a paratha for him, wrapped it in wax paper, and handed it over. Another customer standing close by requested the same. Rahman soon realized this wasn't just efficient. Suddenly, he had fewer dishes to wash. Sitting space was freed up, and customers were served swiftly. It was also novel and exciting. Hafiz Habib ur Rahman has been making paratha rolls at Silver Spoon since 1970. When we first introduced the kebab roll, waiters had to explain to customers that it wasn't meant to be unwrapped and eaten like roti, he said. Initially, Lehman gave away the rolls for free, tucking them into orders of more familiar items, such as chaat, or walking up to cars at the nearby Liberty Chalk roundabout traffic light, like a newspaper hawker, in the hopes that paratha rolls would catch you. They did. At the time, newer fast food businesses in Karachi were focused on Western-style burgers and sandwiches, and frowned upon Lehman's curious kebab in paratha rolls. They relegated the rolls to the land of bun kebabs and humble street food, but the creation became a revelation nonetheless. In little more than half a century, paratha rolls have become a ubiquitous and unrivaled part of the repertoire of South Asian street food, enjoyed across the borders in India and Bangladesh, as well as Pakistan, though their birth city of Karachi is where they are most popular. According to Dr. Sahar Nardin Hamid, professor at the Institute of Business Administration in Karachi, having a paratha roll was a way for Pakistanis to experience the novelty of eating fusion food, traditional food served in a contemporary way, without venturing too far out of their comfort zone. In the 70s, we didn't have too many eating out options that were not too expensive, she explained. The Irani cafes were where most people ate out, but they tended to be more expensive than places where the paratha roll was served. The food carts were cheaper, but less of a dining out experience. Silver Spoon took local flavors and presented them as fast food, which was also economical. The food matched the fast-paced lifestyle of the migrant-heavy and upwardly mobile population. You could eat a roll if you felt hungry in the middle of a shopping trip, or the office workers in the nearby offices could have a quick meal for lunch. It could also be a family outing for a change from home-cooked food, said Hamid. Paratha is fried until flaky and crisp. Throughout the 1970s, paratha rolls skyrocketed in popularity among youngsters for their affordability and convenience, and with the elders for the familiar taste. They were easy enough to be consumed in public transportation, or while walking or driving, clean enough that the sleek oiliness stayed on the wax paper, and the hands remained clean and desi or local enough to suit established tastes. For women especially, having the option to grab the roll and eat on the go instead of sitting in a restaurant or cafe alone to dine helped from a sociological perspective. At Silver Spoon, this was an especially important factor, as the restaurant's limited seating meant Customers were often very close to the male servers and chefs, explained Lehman. Silver Spoon soon spawned an entire industry. Many popular paratha roll joints opened and created veritable empires, such as Red Apple, Hot and Spicy, and Mild Chili. But for those who experienced paratha rolls when they were just gaining popularity in the 1970s, the experience of Lehman's tawa paratha, a paratha shallow fried on a large flat griddle called a tawa, with its tangy brown chutney and tender beef, is steeped in nostalgia. Rahman said that when Pakistanis living abroad come back, many drive to Silver Spoon straight from the airport to get their fix, even if it's been 20 to 30 years since they've returned. It's a homecoming. A Karachi vendor makes the kebabs for paratha rolls. In 2019, in an attempt to cash in on paratha rolls' phenomenal success, KFC introduced the Jingaratha, a combination of KFC's Jinga Burger, starring spicy, breaded, crispy fried chicken and paratha. Early television commercials carefully positioned it as the solution for younger consumers who weren't sure if they wanted to eat desi or Western food. It's not confusion, it's fusion, KFC proclaimed. But when Pakistanis tried it, the response was underwhelming. Paratha rolls were meant to be a fusion of the way two beloved Pakistani foods were eaten, not a hybrid between local and foreign taste. KFC tried to jump onto the bandwagon by launching their Jingaratha, but it did not work in capturing the essence of our favorite paratha rolls. It was a soggy, fake paratha with too much mayonnaise and a sweet sauce instead of spicy chutney. We feel KFC should stick to their classic bucket of fried chicken, said Juleka Ahmed, the founder of food blog at Karachi Food Adventure. The authenticity of our rolls comes from the chutney prepared on the street, onions cut roughly by the street vendor, marinated chicken body, small chunks of grilled meat, barbecued live on the charcoal with its smoky smell and melt in the mouth experience. The cleaner fusion version in the form of Jingaratha was too far from that authentic feel. Jia Tabara, who runs the YouTube channel Street Food PK, agreed. It's not just Jingaratha's name that's foreign, he said. It also lacks that Pakistani flavor and feeling of belongingness that the paratha roll has. Though the Jingaratha is still on KFC's menu and has its customers, it's a wildly different experience that can't capture the Genesis core of the street paratha roll. Putting a positive spin on things, he added, I think that this is an achievement for the paratha roll, that a food chain like KFC imitated it. But the original will remain as it is, and it can never be fully imitated.